Welcome back to the Vanlove channel. I'm Jo. Guy and I took a trip to Wales for 24 hours. Now this might be a bit of a tough watch for some of you because Guy got himself into a little bit of a pickle.
So it's now December and this video was shot all the way back at the end of September, and it's kicked around on my computer for the best part of 3 months because honestly I wasn't sure I even wanted this to see the light of day, and that was because something happened on this trip that made me so uncomfortable, so nervous that I didn't actually want to share it publicly, but because someone's convinced me it's a good idea to put it out because other people might have suffered with this, we thought we'd give it a go. So strap yourselves in as we go for 24 hours in Wales. We're off into the heart of Wales to Snowdonia to go and climb Snowdon. Got up nice and early this morning. Planned to leave the house at 8 o'clock. It's about an hour 3/4 from Shrewsbury to the mountain. We would have been there by now if it hadn't been for the fact that someone, not me, forgot their hiking boots. Not something you can climb up a mountain without. Hey Joe. So I've never climbed a mountain before, and I guess it would have been more favourable to do this in the middle of summer where it's nice and warm. Anyway, it's now end of September. The weather, obviously, we looked at the forecast this morning and the weather looked alright, but the weather has obviously started raining. Joe's climbed it in the rain, and if she can do it, I can do it. We've made it to the car park. We have got changed. Base layer, fleece, some hiking trousers, some hiking boots. Joe's hydrating, ready for her trip. Car park is a little tight, but you can get a camper van in the spaces, which is fabulous. And we just got to pay for the ticket and then we're going to start the hike. Right then, this is it. Joe and I are going to go and climb Snowdon. First mountain I've ever done. We are all the gear, no idea. I have a hydration pack.
Speak for yourself.
So yeah, we're going to go and climb Snowdon. We're coming via Riddu, whatever that's called. I'm just going to guess that this isn't the way, babe.
You could just walk along here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a good idea because she's an idiot. Look, already, not even up the mountain yet and facing imminent danger. We've been walking for about 6 minutes. I'm already out of breath. I've had a brunch bar. Lots of ultra processed sugar, so that'll help. Mountain goat fallows. Yeah, she's well ready for it. It's quite steep, I'm not gonna lie. We're now 8 minutes into the climb. It's been intense. Joe's getting undressed already. Stripping off. Views are more beautiful. Only, what did you say, it was 3.5 hours?
I don't know how long it will take us to. Probably 3 to 4.
3 to 4 hour round trip. We're now 9 minutes in, 2 minutes of which we spent eating brunch bars. I spent eating brunch bars and Joe's been getting naked, so it's going well. The scenery, if you've never been here before, is absolutely stunning. One of us is very fit and one of us is sweating profusely.
Well, I'm not sweating. And I'm not out of breath.
3 essentials for hiking up Snowdonia or Snowdon.
A comfy pair of boots is essential. Make sure you've broken them in. Don't break them in on the mountain, whatever you do.
Yeah.
Depending on what time of year you're going, layers, but always water. So dress appropriately, footwear, clothing.
Shoes, layers and water.
Shoes, layers, water. And snacks, so 4.
That's 4.
Yeah.
You can only have 3.
And a map. And a torch.
Typical fellows.
And
always.
a good rucksack.
Right, okay, so 7.
A few things.
Okay, good.
Just stunning. This is my
Amazing
favourite place on earth at the moment.
Is it?
Yeah, Snowdon.
Can I leave you here?
Yeah, happily.
Okay, bye forever.
Bye then.
600 metres above sea level. You can actually see the sea over there. And it's all right, it's quite warm. Clouds lifted, which is great. Joe's being very polite and waiting for me, which is nice of her. Okay, we're 14 minutes, no, joking. We're about 1.5 miles in. I'm doing mine in Ks, so it's about 2.2 something Ks. And we're about to ascend into a cloud. Lots of people coming the other way. If you haven't walked Snowdon before, everybody is really, really lovely. We're now at 750 metres.
Yep.
I'm not entirely sure how...
Which is in feet.
How high is it?
1,805 feet. So I think it's
1,800 feet.
2,000 and something. The peak.
So we're not that far. Anything being, we're now in the clouds. This route is not
It's not for beginners.
It's not for beginners. Which is ironic because I'm a beginner. It's now 800 metres above sea level. Got a really steep climb, and you can't really see it, but there's people up there somewhere. Apparently we're close to the summit, but this one I think is winding me up because I don't think we are at all. She just keeps pretending we are.
No.
So I keep on walking.
Well,
yeah, true, right? If you've ever seen Fall on Netflix, you can't see it in the clouds, but if you don't like scary heights, this is going to test you. Yeah, I'm starting to feel a bit. So, Fellows is going to guide me through these paths. They're not exactly really clear, and they're very close to the edge. And if you don't like heights and big drops, yeah, this is going to put the willies up you, as it is me. And I'm not going to do any more on camera and walk because I think I'll end up down there. So we're going to pause the story right there because this is where I started struggling. Up there, however many 100 metres above sea level, up Snowdon, a panic attack set in. I put the camera down. I didn't want to do anything more on camera at that point. My heart rate was up. I was literally gripping to any rock because in my head, I was going to fall, and that was it. That was my only thought process. I was going to fall down. And whether you could hear it over the wind or not, what I mentioned was a film that we'd watched, Joe and I, a couple of months earlier, which was called The Fall or Fall on Netflix. And sitting on a sofa in a house, genuinely, I had a panic attack sat there. I was sweating through a pair of jeans, horrendous. The thing with that is, if you don't want to watch that, you can just turn it off and actually you know you're safe. Up a mountain, when you've either got to carry on walking or head backwards, in that moment, it's really hard to deal with. Harder to deal with, actually, watching back, is this obsession with being really in control and coming across really well. And that's why I didn't want to put this video out, because as I was watching this back, especially when I actually made it to the top, game face came back on. It was like, okay, we've made it, and trying to make a joke of having a panic attack. And I think we do so much of this in life where we cover up some of our issues or problems or stuff that scares us or bothers us. We just don't talk about it properly. So this is a very specific incident about climbing up a mountain, but the bigger message I think here is we really need to talk about things that bother us. And we really need to be confident that other people will help us through. And I was very lucky to have Jo up that mountain, because without her, I'm actually not sure how I would have made it back. Well, we made it.
Did it?
This is the top of Snowdon, and that's a visitor centre. It feels like less of an achievement when you get up here, when so many people are up there just having a chat and a coffee.
Oh.
But the thing to note is, if you don't want to walk in, there are 2 trains that will bring you to the top, so you can actually just
cheat, yeah.
You can cheat. I mean, anyway, well, yeah, you can come in the train. And there's also, so Lamberis is the path that goes that way,
Yeah.
and it's a lot more gentle. It's a bit longer, but it's less climby, less scraggy. This is a difficulty level 9.
Yeah. Didn't tell you that.
Never climbed a mountain, idiot head, decided difficulty
Because
level 9.
I know you're capable.
That's very nice of you to say.
And he's
but
done
the
it.
problem is, I've scared myself shitless now, and triggered all sorts of vertigo, fear of heights, PTSD, everything about falling off mountains has come true, and has not been that enjoyable. And now we've got to get back down the same way.
The temperature's really
And it's really got cold as well, so yeah, it's about 2 hours back to the van. Feels great now. Won't do in about 10 minutes. Might not be back on camera for a little bit, but if you want to do it, don't go the hard way the first time you do it, and never trust your girlfriend if she says, "Don't worry, it's easy." Also, if she says it's just round the next corner, that's not true either. Coming back down is obviously much easier than going up. But you still have to be pretty on it because there's some really steep drops either side, and loads of loose rock, especially slate, which is really slippery when it's wet. The other thing is, if you've got a bit of fear of heights, then your legs turn to jelly. And my legs are very jelly-like. I'm not entirely doing what I'd like them to, which is quite annoying. But anyway, it's been an awesome climb. Shame it's a little bit cloudy, although maybe a blessing, because I'm not sure I even wanted to see what was on either side of that pathway. It's also quite nice bumping into a chap on the way down who was having similar fear of heights and hanging on to anything solid for dear life, which is strangely relatable.
Second time I've done this path. This one wasn't as enjoyable view-wise because there weren't any, and I felt sorry for you because you were struggling a little bit, the height thing, and some of the ledges were like that. Yeah, it's been fantastic. I mean, look at that. It's just stunning. I love it up here.
Final mile to go to get back to the van. Mountain goat fallows falls at the last hurdle. Joe's got nasty blisters.
Blisters the size of my head.
It's the size of her head apparently. They are big blisters. So how many miles is it round trip? Jojo, walking?
They said it was 3 3/4 miles, but it's not.
It's a bit more than that, isn't it? It's about 8 mile round trip.
I reckon.
It's about 3.5 hours if you're cohabiting with a mountain goat or you're relatively fit. If you're not that fit, I would suggest you don't come this way for a start. Go the easier path. Probably the car's down there somewhere. Van, rather. So we've got a little bit more walking to do, but it's quite nice because it just kind of chills out your legs at the end of the walk. But they're a bit jelly-like, aren't they, hun? It's a bit like they've become made of plasticine and they're not quite working as they should. What's that?
Like a real comedy package.
Yeah, comedy legs going on at the moment. We made it. We are back in the car park and my legs feel like I've run the London Marathon just to prove that I am completely unfit. Now we're off to Abersock. We're off to a certificated location in Abersock, which we'll check out. We've not been there before, so that'll be cool. And our 24 hours in Wales continue.
got up, used the facilities, hence being in a warm coat. Joe is cooking.
With the Rich Monkey?
Using the Ridge Monkey, one of the best things ever. So yeah, we're going to go for another walk today. We're going to go and discover the coastline of Abersoch. So the one thing you probably shouldn't do after doing an 8-mile walk
Is an 8 mile.
is another 8-mile walk. I need to fix my hair.
I actually think it's a good thing because it gets rid of all the lactic acid in your muscles.
I mean, she would know. So yeah, we're going on another adventure today. Hold tight. So last night we were a bit exhausted, weren't we, after doing Snowdon, and we found a nice little bar.
Après Ski.
Après Ski, yeah, very cool, in Abersoch.
Yeah.
Top tip, if you're coming to stay in Abersoch on a Saturday, make sure you book a restaurant.
Yes.
If you want to eat.
There's only about 6.
Yeah.
And they were all fully booked.
Yeah, we were struggling to.
Well, between 7 and 9. If you want to do it before or after that, you're fine, but we didn't get there till 7.
Right. So yeah, it was a bit of a struggle finding anywhere to go and eat. But anyway, we ended up in Après Ski. Lovely team working in there, weren't they?
Yep.
And they said we could bring fish and chips in from the chippy, which was across the road. So it was all right in the end. They served a lovely pint of Madry, didn't they?
They did, yeah. And they even gave us cutlery and tomato sauce.
We tested that 6 times just to make sure they were lovely pints. And they definitely were.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, headed back to the motorhome afterwards for a bit of walking dead.
Yeah, I fell asleep. Straight away.
Yeah.
I was dead. After the walking.
And now we're on another mission today.
Mission Abersoch Circular, 8 miles.
Abersoch Circular. It's a bit more than 8 miles, isn't it? It's about
8.8
plus about a mile to get back to the camper van at the CL.
Yeah. Although the views from up here just
It is stunning. Amazing. And random celebrity fact, Joe Fallows.
Oh, Bear Grylls Island is just around the corner of the peninsula here. It's got a lighthouse. Lighthouse on it, apparently.
Classy.
Lighthouse.
Lighthouse.
It's got a lighthouse on it.
So, yeah, we're going to pop and see Bear Grylls Island, aren't we?
Yeah. With
Pop in and see Bear.
So we were on the walk on this coastal path, another 10-mile hike, and I told myself in my head that after the incident at Snowdon I was going to be absolutely okay, and then we got to a sheer drop.
Well, I was thinking when Guy suggested we should go for this lovely coastal walk, they're always near cliff edges. So I was wondering if it would make a difference because we weren't so elevated up a mountain that we were just walking on a flat path, if that would actually make a difference, and it really didn't, did it?
No.
It actually got worse the second day.
Yeah, I think I was carrying the panic from the day before that something horrendous was going to happen, which of course it didn't.
No.
But in my head, it was likely that it was going to. And there was this point where the side of the cliff was, quite near vertical.
Yeah.
And my head told me that the only way out of that was to climb over a barbed wire fence, and I'm really sorry if you own that fence, into a field of spiky gorse.
Yeah.
And that was the only way that I was going to be safe. And I couldn't actually climb over the fence in the end, and just walked along gripping the fence.
I think as well the encouragement from me of we're nearly there, it's not much further, I'd worn a little bit thin up Snowdon, and I think by that point you knew we weren't nearly there and it wasn't much further to go. We were only a quarter of the way into the walk at that point. The rain had started to come down as well, hadn't it, by that point, and we were like, we either go back or we finish this walk. And I am so glad and proud that you finish that walk.
And the irony being that we were so close to Bear Grylls, and if anybody in that situation was any further from being Bear Grylls, I'm not sure it's actually possible.
It's really difficult as well, from my perspective, not being afraid. I'm afraid of fish, so I can kind of relate it to fish, but I love being up mountains, and that coastal path was stunning, the most beautiful views. So it's hard to see your partner going through such panic when all I could see was beauty and outstanding views and fresh air.
Also, it was completely irrational for me because I've never had it before.
Yeah.
This is a whole new thing that I wasn't expecting. Even on the second day, I went out without any idea that this was going to happen. So I thought, we're going to be fine. We're just going to keep on walking and walk it off and, you know, stiff legs and this flat walk. It's going to be absolutely fine. Not fine. Not fine. Nearly 50 years old and discovered that I've got an irrational fear of falling. And it wasn't just about me falling. It was also about you falling, because when you were happily leaning over the edge to take photographs and go, oh look, what's down there? I thought you were going to fall. And therefore I started panicking again, even though I was hiding over the other side of a barbed wire fence.
Yeah.
We've gone round the peninsula,
Yeah, beautiful.
which is about 4 miles, 5 miles, 5 miles.
Nice. Yeah, 5.5.
And now we're coming back across the roads to the camper van.
Well, because we started this from the motorhome,
Yeah,
went to the start point of the circular path,
yeah.
and that was a bit just over a mile away, wasn't it? So we'd already done just over a mile, and now we've decided to go back straight to the motorhome rather than to the end of the circular path. So we've cut about a mile up.
Because it's going to get a bit wet.
Because, yeah, it's a bit rainy.
Slightly moist, proper Welsh wet rain.
Although it's been lovely, the sun came out.
Glorious. You can see the mountains, amazing. Anyway, 2 miles to go. Well, we are back in the van. We have walked, was it about 10 miles yesterday?
Yep.
And how many today?
10.
Another 10 today. So Snowdon yesterday, and then Abersock Peninsula walk today.
So there you go. That's our 24 hours in Wales done. Thank you for watching. If you've suffered something similar, let us know in the comments below. It'd be great to hear from you.
Can I just say as well, just to put a positive spin on this, Snowdon is beautiful, and Snowdonia as an area, do not let this put you off visiting that area, because the other areas that we drove through were beautiful, weren't they? And you loved the drive there. And actually he loved elements of the climb up the mountain. So it's a lovely place to go. Don't let it put you off.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'm not sure I'd do it again, being really honest. I love the idea that I could overcome that, but I just don't think I'd go on that path. Maybe the more gentle path. Links below on the video to our amazing merch, including that beanie and this hoodie.
Thank you for your continued support for the Vanlove channel.
Thank you for being part of the journey. It's been absolutely phenomenal engaging with you online and at the events themselves.
Yeah.
The festival will be back in 2025.
18th to 20th of July.
Bigger.
Better. Not better.
Can it be better?
I don't think it can.
No,
Oh,
I'm not sure
it grows year on year, but it's always the best.
It's always the best. So yeah, and thank you for all your support on the channel. And here is to not getting caught up mountains again anytime soon. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
See ya.